live. I can still hear you. See you, bye. Welcome on in. If you're joining us at home, team, welcome on into Sculpt. We're doing Sculpt 3 this morning. So just letting some, other people are joining. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can also jump over to rise.co.uk/online and join us in our virtual studio, which means I get to see your lovely faces here and here, double whammy. And so I can keep an eye on what you're doing, and we can all have a nice little chat. I finally worked out where the cameras are. So yeah. Pardon?
Could you let me know?
What am I know, right? So just talking, that means I'm talking to Jen right now. Love it. The cameras are quite confusing in here. We've got, I feel like a full professional setup right now, prepared for our life on the stage. The lights are also quite warm, which is quite toasty. We're kind of getting the hot yoga experience here with the pro lights. Sorry? Oh. What? Talk to the live people rather than me, Yes, I will. Yeah. Awesome. Right, cool. So if you're joining us at home, we've got some exciting news. So we've got a Rise summer party coming up. Fingers crossed, all things going well in the world. We are going to be having a summer solstice party, so that's the 20th of July, at Chris and Jen's urban farm. You've probably heard them talk about it. If you've ever seen it, it's absolutely beautiful. Got a tree house, got loads of animals, chickens, pens, various different birdie things, ponds, and yeah, so super fun. We should be having, we'll have a summer barbecue, so we'll just have some food and you can bring drinks and general fun and merriment. So, just letting in, we got in. Someone else has done it. Yeah, so check that out. Put that date in your diary. Save the date. That's the 20th of July. So that's going to be our summer party. So that will be super, super, super awesomely fun. And hopefully we can all, by that point, be together again. So that's just going to be for members. So, yeah, check that out. We'll be releasing all of the info about that soon. So 20th of July is going to be our summer party. Other exciting things coming up. We have got, just looking at the time, we have got new Flex starting in Friday, so that's tomorrow. So Flex 15 is starting on Friday morning, so do have a look, check that out. Friday morning at 7:30 or 10:30 on Saturday, I think 5:30 on Sunday. So new funky Flex, new tunes, have a little play. What else I've got to say? So that's super exciting. Oh, there's a dog at home. So the nice thing about you joining us in the Zoom room is I get to see everyone's dogs. So always nice. That's a very cute pooch at home. There we go. We're on it. How much longer we got left? So we've got 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. So yeah, check that out. Also, if you're practicing at home and you fancy some tunes, all our tunes are on Spotify, so you can just set that up on if you've got another device. So if you just search for Rise, and then we've got Flex 1 to 15 up there, and Power 1 to 14, all the chills as well. So if you want to stick on some tunes, feel free to go have a little search. They're all publicly on Spotify, or anything else you fancy having on in the background. So that's all there. I'm just going to start our Instagram feed. There we go. All right, hi guys on Insta. Welcome on into Sculpt. I should have said this before. If you're joining us at home, wherever you are on the many cameras, this is Sculpt. So this is Yoga Pilates fusion with weights. So you might want to just grab yourself a set of weights. So if you don't have weights, a can of beans, 2 bottles of wine, full preferably, are great. I've optimistically gone for some 2s and 3s today. I'm feeling strong. Anything you've got, we're just going to use those to add a bit of resistance, of course. You can lose the weights as well. You don't have to use them. So entirely up to you. You can take all of these movements without the weights. We're just using them for a little bit of resistance and to help to get into those areas of the body. Look at the right camera. Those areas of the body which can be harder to access with body weight alone. So we're thinking particularly about the back, as well as getting into the lower body, into the abs. It's a nice little full body workout with stretching as well. All right, we have got, how long? 40 seconds to get started. All right, so if you're joining at home, you might want to start thinking about coming on down to your mat. So just having your weights to hand, coming on down to your mat, and maybe starting to find your way into a wide leg child's pose. So you're all super welcome on in today to Sculpt. Thanks for joining. When you're ready, knees come out wide, hips come down towards the heels. Maybe just creeping the hands out in front of you, maybe just giving the hips a little shake. Closing the eyes and starting to relax down. So you're all super welcome on into Sculpt. We're starting off here in child's pose. Knees out wide towards the edges of the mat. Thinking about just gently encouraging the hips to meet the heels. No worries if they're not quite there. And bringing the awareness inwards towards the breath. Really deep, full breaths here. So just starting to slow down the breath. Inhaling, exhaling, feeling that breath in the lower back, in the back body, in the spine. Letting the shoulders release. The eyes, the jaw, the face soften. So just taking a few moments to settle. Maybe seeing if you can settle the mind as well. Remember, we're just here to flow, to have fun, to build some strength. Do just work at your own level, your own pace. Do whatever feels good in your body. When you're ready, just taking 3 more breaths here. Deep inhale. Letting the spine extend and lengthen. Exhale, shoulders and hips relax. 2. Deep breath in. And down. 1 more really deep, full breath in. And down. And from there, grounding down with the hands, roll on up and finding your way to a table pose. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Thinking about pressing the hands really hard into the mat, squeezing in the core. And we're going to flow straight into cat-cow here. So inhaling, letting the gaze lift, rolling the shoulders down the back, stretching out through the heart. And exhale, pressing really hard, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest, aiming to extend and lengthen and stretch out the back body. So we're inhaling to open up, find that lovely stretch through the chest. And exhale, this one we're engaging the core, tucking the tailbone, focusing on lengthening, creating space down the back body. 1 more inhale. And exhale, tuck the toes, press the hips high, finding your way to a downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is our upside down V-shaped position. Thinking about spreading the fingers out wide, making sure the pointer finger is facing forwards. Almost imagining you're almost gripping the mat with the fingertips. Pressing into the second knuckle. Press really hard with the hands and feel the hips lift high, squeezing in the core to achieve that. Thinking about wrapping the upper arms inwards away from the ears and feeling the shoulder blades fan out. Pressing the hips high. If you want to take a little pedal out through the legs here, maybe feeling a little bit tighter, rock on. Just aim to find that stretch right down the back body. So from the lumbar spine all the way down the calves, the hamstrings. Deep breaths in to lift the hips. Exhale, letting the head and the shoulders relax. So we're building strength in abs and arms, letting the spine decompress, starting to warm up the body. When you're ready, coming into stillness, so pressing the hips high, maybe lifting the quads up a little bit to really get into that hamstring stretch, making sure those shoulders are wrapping away, stretching out, inhale. Exhale. Taking 1 more really deep, full breath in. And out. And from there, just walking the feet towards the hands, bending the knees if you need to, finding your way into a floppy forward fold. So taking a little wiggle, a little stretch, thinking about maybe extending one leg, maybe the other, maybe giving the body a little sway from side to side, maybe giving the head a little shake, whatever feels nice. You can take the hands and the elbows as well. Again, we're just continuing to find space in the back body. Make sure you're not leaning too heavily into the heels here, but lift the hips over the heels, and that's really going to help you get into the hammies. Shoulders and head relax. Another 3, inhale. Exhale. So we're going to start off with a little non-weighted flow. 2. And 1, release. Ground down with the feet, engage the core and root to rise, lift, extend all the way up to the sky, reaching tall, and bring hands to heart center from there. All right, let's start to flow. Inhale, reaching up, stretching up, shoulders down the back, engage the glutes, the quads, the core, inhale. And exhale, swan dive, folding down, planting the hands, head and shoulders relax. On an inhale, bring the hands to the shins, squeezing the shoulder blades together, focusing on lengthening out through the whole back body. Again, hips over heels. Exhale, plant the hands, hop, step, jump, find your way to a plank. So hands underneath the shoulders, strong through the core. Make sure the pointer finger is pressing forwards. Make sure you've got that energy through the back body. Make sure the shoulder blades aren't drooping. You might want to shimmy the toes back a little bit to really get into the legs. Make sure you're on the tippy toes, heels over toes. And if you're feeling strong, maybe have a little rock forwards and backwards there in your jacksaw. Just thinking about starting to build some heat in the body. Trying to keep hips and shoulders in line here. So trying to keep it in a plank rather than piping up to a down dog. Maintaining this plank position is really going to help us access and strengthen the abdominals. Working here for 3. So slow, controlled movements. 2. And 1. Use the toes with the body weight all the way forward. Start to bend through the elbows into low plank. Rolling onto the tops of the feet. Point the toes, chest through the arms. Lift up, up dog. Exhale your way. Downward facing dog once again. So thinking about just taking some time, hips up high, fingers spread out wide, core engaged, powering up with the hips, wrapping the upper arms in away from each other. And from there we're going to take a little flow with the legs. So the left foot's going to ground, the right foot reaches up to the sky. 3-leg dog, squeeze that right glute, left heel to the earth, stretching through hamstring. Inhale, exhale, drive, knee to nose, squeeze the core. Inhale, lift, extend, stretch, and squeeze, drive, knee to nose. 1 more time, inhale, and exhale, drive. Swapping over, right foot is going to ground, inhale the left foot high, exhale, knee to nose, powering the hands into mat, squeeze the core. Inhale, lift, extend, stretching up, and drive, knee to nose, strong through the core. Warming up the body here, 1 more time, inhale, and exhale, drive. Left foot meets right, look to the hands, little hop forwards. Inhale, extend, long flat back, stretching out. Exhale to fold. Grounding down with the feet, reach to rise, lift, extend, inhale. Extend, little baby back bend. Exhale, folding straight back down. Second flow. Inhale, extend, long flat back, really reaching out long with the spine. Exhale, refolding, planting the hands, hop, step, jump. Finding your way to plank. Hands under the shoulders, strong through the core. Using the toes to move the body weight forward, start to bend through the elbows into a low plank. Rolling onto the tops of the feet, squeeze the glutes, point the toes up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Sending those hips back up high into an upside down V shape, spreading the fingers out, strong through the core. When you're ready, left foot grounds, right foot lifts to the sky, right heel comes to the bum, left heel to the earth, stretching out through the hips, scorpion leg dog. Holding here, keep pressing into both hands, right hip stacks above left, starting to find some openness in the hips for 3, inhale. Exhaling 2, and 1. Planting the right foot outside the right hand, dropping the left knee down. Making sure this right knee is stacking over the right ankle. Feel free to shuffle that right foot forwards. Use the hands if you need to. Find that alignment. From there, we're going to inhale, rock the body weight forwards. Exhale, stretch back. Maybe the toes rise, finding a little hamstring stretch. So inhaling forwards, letting the shoulders release down, stretching out. Exhale, rocking back, stretching back. 1 more time. Inhale forwards, and exhale, stretch back. From there, inhale forwards, left hand plants, right hand can reach the sky. Just find a little opening through the chest, stretching out, rotating from the waist. Deep inhale, and exhale, find your way back to downward facing dog. Hips up high, strong through the core, long through the spine. Left foot is going to rise, left heel comes towards the bum, right heel towards the earth. Thinking about starting to let that left hip stack above right, maintaining that energy through the hands, twisting and stretching open, strong through the core, powering hands really hard into mat, holding there for 3. So we're stacking left hip above right, finding that lovely opening through the hips. 2. Deep breaths in and out. And 1. Plant the left foot outside the left hand. Left knee over left ankle. Finding that lovely alignment from knee over ankle. Thinking about pressing hard with hands into the mat. And when you're ready, inhaling forwards. And exhaling, stretching back, opening the hamstrings. Inhaling, reaching forwards with the heart. Exhale, stretching back. One more time. Inhale forwards. And exhale, just gently, dynamically opening up the hamstrings. Inhale forwards and exhale, left hand to the sky, opening out through the hips, just finding that lovely stretch through the chest, maybe a little bit opening through the outside of the left leg. Deep inhale and exhale your way, down dog. Stretch back, have a little pedal, a little shake out. And when you're ready, bend the knees, hop to hands. Inhale, long flat back. And exhale, relax and fold. Grounding down with the feet, engage the core, reach to rise and lift and stretch tall. And exhale, hands back to heart center. Nice work. All right, we're going to move into just a little bit of a balance flow and then into our weights. So moving the weight into your right foot, make sure the toes are spread out wide, the quad is engaged, the core is engaged. Left knee is going to lift, shoulders down the back. So just find that balance point. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. Send the left foot out behind you, warrior 3. Inhale, lifting back up, knee to chest, and then take the left hand to the left knee, the right hand out wide, finding an open twist. So pressing the left knee away from you. From there, flow back into warrior 3, toes out behind you, stretching into a T shape, and then driving that left knee forwards, right hand comes to left knee, stretching and twisting out through the waist. So one more time with this flow, left foot out behind you, body forward, stretching into a T shape, warrior 3. Driving left knee to chest, taking the left hand to the left knee, the right hand away from the midline of the body, opening out through the hips. Final time, back to warrior 3, stretching out, long spine. And finally, flowing up, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, twisting into the spine, mobilizing. And releasing there. Well done. So nice little warm up for the legs, for the spine. Just take that on the other side. So spreading the toes out. Remember, you want to find that energy in the standing leg. The core is engaged. That's going to find that stability. Hands to heart center. Right knee lifts. Inhale. And then exhale, stretching that right foot out behind you. Stretching out T-shaped balance. Flowing up. Taking the right hand to the right knee. Taking the left hand out. So we're opening out through the hips. Finding that little open twist. And then flowing back, warrior 3, stretching long, and driving right knee to chest, taking left hand to right knee, opening out, find that little twist. Once more, so flowing the right foot out behind you, stretching into a T shape, long with the spine, strong glutes, carefully flowing up, pressing the knee away from the body, right knee, hand to right knee, left hand away, stretching open twist. Final warrior 3, stretching out, finding that lovely long spine. And then flowing up, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you, twisting, stretching open, and release. Well done. So give those legs a little shake up, hopefully feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit more mobile. And from there, we're going to move into our first little block of weighted movement. So we're thinking about lower body and getting into the back body, particularly here. We'll be working the abs as well. You might find that you want some heavier weights. If you do have a choice of weights, this is a good point to grab some heavier ones. All right, we're going to start off with a suitcase deadlift. So what we're going to do is we're going to sink into a yoga chair. So the knees are going to be over the ankles. Make sure the knees aren't sinking forwards. You want to focus on moving the weight to the heels. Almost imagine you can lift the toes, squeeze the core, keep the spine long, make sure the shoulders aren't creeping forwards with the weights, but actively drawing back. So we're here in this little yoga chair, and we're just going to bend into a quite deep chair and come on up back to a chair. So we're working, as you'll probably start to feel pretty fast, the quads here, thinking about keeping the shoulders down the back, the chest lifted. If you don't go all the way to the floor, no worries. We're just thinking about almost imagining you're picking up a suitcase and putting it down again, and you're doing it in the sort of way that they recommend on safety videos. So you're taking a deep bend in the knees, you're sinking the butt down low, and you're squeezing on up. Thinking about that energy in the legs. If you can, don't come all the way up to standing, but just keep coming into that little chair pose so you're maintaining that tension in the legs. Remember, slow and control. You really want to feel that squeeze of the muscles. Working here for 5. Deep breath in and out. So getting these big muscles of the lower body into the glutes. Try and keep that control of the knee position. 3. Keep the core engaged. Nice work. 2. Looking good at home. And 1. Come all the way up. Nice work. From there, angle the body forwards. So we're going to keep the hips over the heels. So it's a bit like that halfway lift we sometimes take in our flows. We're going to take a little row here. So engage the core, lengthen through the spine, palms are facing in. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together so they creep up just past the rib cage and then slowly lower down. So squeezing, you should feel the shoulder blades move together. Really focus on that squeeze and lowering with control, keeping the spine long. Look out in front of you. So you want to find one long line from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So make sure you're keeping the chest slightly lifted, the body parallel to the floor. Nice, looking good. Squeezing and lowering. Thinking about maintaining some energy in the legs. If you want to lift up the quads, that can help get a little bit of stretch in the hammies. So remember, we're not dropping the weight, we're squeezing and lowering. Working here for 5, so slow, controlled. 4, really powering into the back body. 3, well done. Lowering and lifting with control. 2, and 1, coming all the way up there. Nice work. Going to move into a nice little forward fold, straight leg deadlift. So feet are hip distance apart, palms are now facing the thighs, engaging the core. From there, we're going to inhale and exhale. Stick the bum out behind us, slowly lower down. Micro bend or straight in the knees or a straight leg. And then we're going to float, peel on up and float up high on the toes. So again, we want to focus on the spine staying long here. So you should feel like a really lovely deep stretch in the hamstring. So keep the chest lifted, keep the core really engaged. Make sure that as much as you can, you're finding that sense of the shoulder blades drawing back and down. So you're keeping an open chest. You're not letting the weight of the weights pull the shoulders forwards. Squeezing in the core. Make sure that hips are coming towards, being over the heels. And then we're floating up onto the calves, little calf raise, a little bit of balance. Working on that calf toning as well. Working here for 5, so slow, controlled movements. 4, looking good. So really nice way to develop flexibility as well as strength. 3, well done. 2, and 1, nice work. All right, from here we're going to come back into a chair type position. So we're going to bend the knees and find our way into a chair position. From there, we're going to squeeze, we're going to row, we're going to hinge at the hips and press to the sky, little shoulder press. We're going to hinge at the hips, bend the knees, and take that row. So it's that hinging should feel really quite strong on the core. So as we hinge forwards, then we can bend the knees, work into the legs, take a little row, hinge at the hips, really feel the quads, the glutes, and the abs engage. So remember, that hinging motion back is just as important as that control in the row and in the press. So in the press, we're getting to the shoulders. So that row, we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. The elbows are creeping past the rib cage. We're then squeezing the core, powering into the glutes to lift back up to standing, pressing the weights into the sky. So getting into a nice little compound exercise here. Working the abs, working into the quads a little bit, working into the back body. Really important to strengthen the shoulder blade, these muscles that draw the shoulders down the back. Working here another 3. Perfect. So we're hinging at the hips, lowering the weight, squeezing the core, little row, powering into the abs to press. 2. And 1 more. Awesome stuff, team. All right, take your weights together. You can lose the weights. If you want to take just one weight at this point, feel free. I'm just going to take 1 here, and we're just going to work into little squats. So toes turning out slightly, core engaged. We're going to sink the butt down low, and then we're going to really slowly come on up. So slow, lower. Make sure the knees are coming over the hips. The butt is coming out behind us, the core is engaged, and then we're really slowly powering on up. So we're doing this in the moment at Pilates, so similar little movement. You really want to find that slow, controlled movement, sinking the butt down low, and then make it really slow. Really feel that squeeze on the way up. Nice work. Remember, core is engaged. Working here for 5, so really focusing on control. 4, make sure the bum is sticking out behind you. Keep that form. 3, well done. Slow lowers and lifts. 2, 1 more. And release. Come on up. Nice work. All right. We've got one more little compound exercise, and then we're going to take it to some warrior movement. So, final little compound. So we're back into a little chair. Strong through the core, palms are facing in. We're going to take it back to a row. So squeezing the shoulder blades together, elbows creep past the rib cage. From there we're going to hinge. We're going to keep the elbows in, and we're going to take the arms out wide. So this is a dumb weighter exercise that we take in Pilates. Elbows are in. You should feel the shoulder blades squeeze together, opening through the chest, and then we're going to hinge back down into that little row. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, lift. So the elbows are tucked in, palms are coming out in line with the middle of the torso, and we're coming back down. So thinking about that little compound exercise, really feel that stretch through the chest and that energy through the upper back when you draw the hands away from each other. Remember, you want to make all of this movement controlled, so really focus on that strength on the core and the glutes to lift and hinge. Working here for just another 5, so slow, controlled, opening out. 4, well done. 3, so squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes. 2, looking good at home. 1 more. And release, nice work. From there, we're just going to take a quick little flow, so ground down with the weights. Inhale, root to rise, lift, extend, stretch up, little back bend. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, find a long flat back, really extend and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, hop, step, jump, find your way to a plank. From there, use the toes to move the body weight forward, start to bend through the elbows into low plank. Rolling onto the tops of the feet, squeeze the glutes, point the toes up dog. Exhale into a downward facing dog. Give yourself a little pedal, a little shake. Notice where you've gone. And when you're ready, bend the knees, hop back to the front of your mat. Inhale, extend. Exhale to fold. Grabbing your weights there. And I'm going to move some lighter weights here. So if you do have a few weights, we're going to be taking some lateral raises and some dynamic movement. So you might want some lighter weights. Right foot is facing forwards, left foot, surfing the mat, literally. Right foot is facing forwards, left foot is coming back. We're coming into a warrior 2. So the left toes are facing to the long side of the mat, the right toes are facing forwards, heel to inner arch alignment, thinking about opening out through the hips and heart, opening to the long side of the mat. And from there we're going to take just lateral raises. So we're here in our warrior 2. We're really powering down into the outer edge of the back foot, lifting the quad up, keeping that knee stacking over ankle, and we're lowering and lifting. So it should feel like some nice juicy work into the shoulders as we strengthen the legs here. Warrior 2 is a really powerful one for the legs. You should feel that tension in the legs. Make sure that knee on the front side is tracking towards the second toe. It's not knocking in. We're slowly lifting and lowering. Nice work. Hang on in there. Deep breaths in. And working here for 3. Inhaling. Exhaling. Make those lifts and lowers controlled and slow. 2. And 1. Nice work. From there, bring the weights to the heart center. And we're going to take a little dynamic movement. So we're going to twist. Drop the weights down, the weight of the body down to the left. So we're taking a lateral lunge. Feeling that stretch on the inside of the right leg. And then we're going to move straight to warrior 2. Right toes forwards, arms extend. And then we're going to sink down, back to the left leg. A little skandasana, half surface lunge. Back again. So it's a nice little mobilization exercise. We're working a little lateral fly as well. So working on strength, really powerful movements from that lateral lunge in towards that warrior 2. Finding that power, that strength through the arms, through the legs. Nice. Working here, another 3. So moving with control, lateral lunge, weights come to the heart, sinking low, but out behind you. all the way up. Warrior 2, taking the arms wide. 2. One more. And releasing from there. From there, we're just going to rotate on the back left toes. Right foot is into the center of the mat. Inhale, reaching up tall with that right hand. Think about almost imagine you're drawing the right foot back, pressing the left toes hard into the mat, energizing the back of the left leg. Really press and lift, opening out into that little stretch, that twisted lunge. Deep inhale. And exhale. Plant that right hand down, step back to plank. Using the toes, move the body weight forwards. Bend through the elbows into low plank. Rolling onto the tops of the feet, squeeze the glutes. Inhale. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Hips up high, long through the spine. Really power and lift and stretch. Inhale. Exhale. From there, bending the knees, hop to hands. Inhale, long flat back. Exhale to fold. All right, grabbing your weights while you're down there. Come on up. And we'll take that all on the other side. So now the left foot is going to face forwards. We're stepping out really far with the right foot. Making sure you've got a big deep lunge in that left knee. The right toes are facing out to the right of the mat. Heel to rear arch alignment, weights to heart. Find that warrior leg. So you should feel really strong and powerful. Hips and heart are facing alongside of the mat, so we're opening through the hips. From there, lateral raises. So maintaining that energy, left knee over left ankle. We're lifting and lowering. Remember, you want to lower with control. So particularly if you're feeling like you've got quite a lot of weight on there, really focus on not dropping the weight, but feeling that sense of powering to lift and lower. Nice work. So we're lifting, we're opening out through the hips, we're really powering into the outer edge of that back foot, working here with control for 5. Remember to breathe. Still got that nice yoga breath. 4. Nice. So arms coming out in line with the shoulders. 3. Ooh, starting to feel that burn. 2. And 1. From there, weights to heart. We're going to drop over towards what's now the right leg. The bum is sinking out behind us. We're finding a lateral lunge, finding a stretch down the inside of that left leg. And then we're going to flow it open, warrior 2. Left foot forwards, big deep blend in that knee, right toes to the right of the mat. So we're moving from that half lateral lunge, stretching through the inside of that leg, and bringing it all the way out into that warrior 2, taking the hands out wide. So sinking down and opening up with power, really feeling that strength through the shoulders, through the chest, through the legs here. We're using the power of the legs to assist that lift and opening. Working here for 5. So moving with control. Remember, take it your own pace. 4. Focus on maintaining form. Don't worry about how many do. Just keep that sense of control. 3. Well done. Knee over ankle. 2. Almost there. And 1. Release your weights. Well done. From there, we're just going to twist on the right toes. Plant the right hand down. Inhale the left hand all the way up to the sky. Stretching and opening out through the chest. Thinking about drawing the front foot backwards, the back toes forwards. Feel those energy through the legs, stretching out. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Deep breaths in. And out. 2. And 1. Plant both hands. Step back. Downward facing dog. Little pedal out, little shake out. Deep breath in. And down. From there, we're going to take a little stretch for the shoulders, so dropping down to the knees. And taking your left hand to the mat, right hand sky, inhale. Exhale, taking the right shoulder down to the mat. The left hand just creeps out in front of you, finding that lovely little stretch through the right shoulder. Deep inhale. Exhale, finding that lovely space in the upper back for 3. Deep breaths in. And out, relaxing through the spine, through the shoulders. 2. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. From there, taking it back, so right hand is going to plant, left hand lifts, inhale, and exhale, taking your left shoulder down onto the mat, and moving your weights out of the way if you need to. Right hand walks out in front of you, stretching out, finding that lovely deep stretch through the shoulders. Full breaths in, and out. Working here for 3, deep breaths in, and out. 2. And one, come back through center. And find your way back to down dog, stretching up high with the hips. From there, little bend of the knees, hop to hands. Inhale, long, flat back. Exhale to fold. From there, grabbing your weights again. You'll probably want your lighter weights here as well. And we're just going to step out wide, finding a goddess pose. So going to take a little bit more work into the lower body, toes out wide. From there, we're going to sink down low. So goddess pose, it's almost like a horse riding squat. You've got the knees tracking over ankles, squeezing the core, keeping the chest lifted. From there, the weights are in the hands, palms facing forward. We're going to take a little semicircle around, so we're drawing them together. So the hands are just in front of the line of the shoulders, so about 30 degrees away from the line of the shoulders. We're staying low with the hips, really sink down low. Send the hips out behind you. Nice work. So a really strong one for the legs. Goddess pose is fiery without the weights, and we're just adding some extra weight here with the weights. We're also taking this exercise called full can around the world. Really nice one for strengthening the muscles, the rotator cuff, that helps stabilize the shoulders. So we're drawing little semicircles around. If it's too much, take them all the way up. Don't worry. And just focus on maintaining control. Working here for 5. So slow control of movements. 4. Sinking down lower if you can. Nice work. Even lower if you can. 3. Feeling that work in the back body. 2. And 1. From there, turn both toes in, release your weights, and take a lovely little forward fold. So we're thinking about moving the weight into the toes, stretching the body weight forwards. Inhale. And exhale. Relax the head and the shoulders, stretching out through the whole of the back body. Inhaling. And exhaling there for 3. So just thinking about that lovely length in the spine. Deep, full breaths in. And out. Hips are coming over the heels. We're just taking a little release. 2. One more deep breath in. And from there, walk the hands back around and find your way to a plank pose. Hands underneath the shoulders. And from there, we're going to use the toes, move the body weight forward, start to bend through the elbows into low plank. Inhale, rolling onto the tops of the feet, point the toes, squeeze the glutes, up dog, inhale. And exhale, stretching all the way back to your downward facing dog. Thinking about having a little pedal out, a little shake out, whatever feels good for you. Deep inhale. Exhale there. From there, we're going to drop to the knees and take our weights back to the front of the mat and take the right foot out. So we're coming into a low lunge. So the right foot is forwards, the left foot is going to move back. So we're thinking about finding that sense of steering the hips around, right knee over right ankle. And from there, we are going to take high to low rows. So taking your weights, we're going to press the hands into the sky, about 45 degrees. And then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, keeping the elbows tucked in, drawing back. So thinking about pressing, getting some work into the shoulders, and then we're squeezing the shoulder blades together to open back. So a really lovely way to strengthen shoulders and the back. Thinking about sinking into the hips here. Make sure the pelvis isn't sagging too far forwards. Feel you're drawing that right foot back, the left hip forwards, keeping the core engaged. Little squeeze of the glutes. So we're maintaining that control. So press and squeeze on back. Nice work. Working here for 5. So getting into the shoulders, into the back body. 4. Well done. 3. So drawing back with control, really feeling that energy there. Stretching into the quad as well. 2. And 1. Come all the way back to kneeling there. So from here, we're going to take our little zombie camel sway backs. So I find these super difficult. We're going to just move the body weight backwards, squeeze, and then rise on up. So if you're a little bit more flexible than I am in the quads, you might be able to come back quite a lot deeper. So we're just thinking about squeezing one long line from knees to head. So take it easy. Don't worry if you're not coming very far. Thinking about feeling into the energy in the legs, moving with control up and down. Working here for another 3. Just take it easy. Make it slow. Make it controlled. 2. Nice work. And 1. Nice. From there, we're taking the left foot forwards. Just take a moment to set up your lunge. So low lunge, left foot forwards. Feet are about hip distance apart. We're dropping the hips forward, so you're feeling a stretch with that right hip flexor. Left foot is moving back, right hip is moving forwards. Strong abs, hands to the sky. When you're ready, we're pressing out, and then we're going to squeeze back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Focus on maintaining strength in the abs. Make sure that left knee doesn't knock inwards. We're keeping that control there. So we're pressing and squeezing back. So remember, we really want to focus on energy. So hands in the air, and then we're squeezing on back with control. Nice work. So extend and squeeze back. Feel that power. Working here for 5. So slow, controlled, squeezy movements. 4. Nice work. Press and drive. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way back to kneeling here. This time we're going to come back to our little zombie camel. So moving back, knees underneath hips, moving the body weight backwards, squeeze. Or if that's too much, just kneel. And we're going to take little bicep curls. So we're just going to slowly lift and lower, coming to about 90 degrees. So we're thinking about keeping the core engaged, the shoulders down, moving up and down with control. Nice work. So slow, controlled movements, working here for 5. Inhaling. Exhaling. 4. Keep that energy. Try and stay in that camel if you can. 3. Squeeze the core, the glutes. 2. And release. Well done. So from there, just set your weights to one side and find your way to a downward facing dog. So hips up high, stretching up tall. Have a little wiggle, a little shake out for 3. So just get a quick little bit of stretching and then move into abs to finish. 2 and 1. Left foot high, inhale. Exhale, take the left knee behind the left wrist, sliding the right foot all the way out behind you. Inhaling. And exhaling, starting to stretch forwards there, reach forwards, deep, full breaths in, and out. So we're squaring the right hip down towards the mat, lengthening out long with the spine, steady flow with the breath in, and out. So thinking about just opening out right down the back of that right leg, through the right glutes, working here for 3, inhaling, exhaling, so shoulders relaxing, spine extending, 2, 1 more, inhale, and exhale. From there, sweeping your right foot all the way around, extending it out to the right corner of the mat, finding the sit bones, inhale, lifting up, angling over that right leg and taking a little forward fold. As always, you're very welcome to have a deep bend in that right leg if you're feeling it, just focusing on finding that sense of length and stretch, grounding down with the sit bones, inhaling. Exhaling, finding that lovely deep stretch through the lower back, through the back of the hamstrings. Working here for 3, deep, full breaths in. And out, 2. Shoulders are relaxing. 1 more, really deep inhale. Exhale. Rolling on up there and crossing the legs. Find your way either straight back to down dog, or if you're feeling it, move the body weight forwards with the toes, lower to a low plank. Roll onto the tops of the feet, up dog, squeeze the glutes, stretching back, down dog. From there, right foot to the sky this time, inhale, exhale, right knee lands behind right wrist, right toes are turning out to the left side of the mat. Look over your left shoulder, left knee, ankle, hips are in alignment, so we're finding that lovely pigeon stretch and relaxing down, letting the body fold down over that left leg. Make sure you're not sinking heavily down onto the right hip, but keep the weight even between both hips. Lengthening out and relax. Inhaling. Exhaling. So softening through the shoulders, through the face, through the jaw. Finding that lovely deep stretch down the back of the leg. Shoulders are softening. Just breathing into this lovely stretch. Little breather as well for another 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more really deep, full breath in. And out. From there, walking the hands back up, sweeping the left foot around to the left side of the mat. Right foot is into the inner thigh. Inhale, lifting, angling the body over that left leg and enjoying a lovely little forward fold. Stretching into the back of the left leg, keeping the shoulders in alignment. Inhaling. And exhaling to relax. So finding that lovely deep stretch down the back of the left leg, through the lower back, through the spine. Deep inhales. Exhales. Well done, relaxing there for 3. Deep breath in. And out. 2. Just one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. From there, rolling on up and find your way to your final downward facing dog. Just have a little pedal, a little shake. Just notice where you've gone. Maybe a little wiggle out from side to side, a little side stretch, whatever feels nice. And when you're ready, we're going to hop to seated. And taking some weights with you, we're going to roll all the way down to lie on our backs. So final 6 minutes, we're just going to take a quick little ab sesh. So starting off, we're going to take the weights in the air, lower back on the floor, pressing the weights to the sky. Remember, you can lose the weights at any time. Lower back on the floor, squeeze the core, and we're going to take chin to chest, squeeze and pulse, press up towards the toes, and then we're slowly lowering down again. So thinking about squeeze, pulse, press. Remember, if you don't like working with lifting the neck, you can always just lift the knees in towards the chest, squeeze the core, and work little pelvic rolls instead. So options there, so squeezing and lowering, either the chest or the hips, your choice. Thinking about making sure it's the abs that's doing the lifting, not the neck. We're getting some great work for the arms here as well. Powering up, squeezing, and lowering. Nice work. Working here for 5. So really nice work for the abs here. 4. Make sure you're maintaining control. Power up, lift up as high as you can. 3. Well done. 2. And 1 from there. Release the shoulders, arms in the air, and we're going to lower and lift the legs. So we're thinking about lowering and lifting the legs with the weights in the air, making sure the lower back stays on the floor for the full duration. So you only have to lower those legs as far as lower back stays on the floor. If you need to take it down a level, taking a soft bend in the knees. So working again into the lower abs for 5. Slow and controlled here. 4. Well done. 3, 2, and 1. All right, from there, almost done. We're going to put those 2 moves together. So palms are going to come to face together, knees over hips, shins parallel with the mat. We're going to move the arms over the head, holding the weights, the toes, the mat, and then we're going to squeeze them together. So it's a little C crunch. You can lose the weights at this point. Just make sure you can keep the lower back on the floor, so only extend those arms and legs as far away from each other as that lower back can stay on the floor. As the hands move over the head, should feel pretty fiery on those abs. If you want to make it harder, you can straighten the legs and straighten the arms. So entirely up to you. Keep the core engaged, make it slow, make it controlled, work at your level. Working here for 5, so slow, controlled movements. We're almost done. I'm going to come to a little bit of stretching next. 4. Really powerful, really strong. Remember, if the lower back starts to arch, that's when you can just take a little bend of the knees. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Release your weight. Awesome job. Let's take a quick little dynamic bridge to release the abs. So planting down with the feet, engage the core. Ground down with the feet. Inhale, ripple up, roll up, press the hips high. Chest comes to chin, squeeze the glutes. Really slowly lowering back down again. So we're thinking about powering up, using the abdominals, pressing up chest to chin, squeeze. And really, really, really slow lower back down. So we're moving with control here. Finding that lovely flow through the spine. And release through the abs for another 3. So keeping knees and ankles in alignment. Just enjoying that lovely release. 2. 1 more little lift and stretch. And lower. From there, left foot is going to extend, hug in with the right knee. And taking the left hand to the right knee, drawing the right knee across the body, opening the right arm away from you. So we're finding this lovely full stretch through the right side of the chest and through the outside of the right leg. Deep inhale to extend and lengthen. Exhale, feel that right shoulder relax. So we're finding this lovely stretch, releasing the spine, mobilizing around the lumbar spine for 3. Inhaling. Exhaling. 2. And 1, swapping over there. Right leg is going to extend, hugging in with the left knee. And we take the right hand to the left knee. Take the left knee across the body. And extend the left arm away, stretching out through the side body, Left hand and left knee moving long away from each other. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. So lovely little stretch there. Deep breaths in. And out for 3. Full steady breaths. 2. And 1. Come up through center. Give yourself a little squeeze. And let's take a happy baby. So peace sign fingers around the big toes, knees in towards armpits. Have a little wiggle, a little stretch, lovely little pose. We're opening out through the hips, opening out through the lower back, letting the chest be open. Deep, full breaths in. And taking 1 more really deep inhale. Exhale. And finally just releasing the toes together there, the soles of the feet together, letting the shoulders release down the back. Closing the eyes, and we'll just take 3 deep, full breaths in. And deep inhale. Exhale. 2. Just letting the body relax, reset. 1 more really deep breath in. And from there, give yourself a final little squeeze. Roll over into a ball on one side and find your way all the way up to a seated position. So finding the sit bones, letting the spine be long, quick little shoulder stretch. We're just going to interlock the hands, press the hands to the sky, draw the shoulders down the back. Feel that lovely extension and stretch through the side body. Deep inhale. Exhale. From there, chin to chest, press the backs of the hands towards the front of the room, draw the shoulders down and apart. So we're feeling that stretch through the upper back. Deep inhale. Exhale. Finally taking the arms out wide, pressing the chest forward, stretching out through the chest. Deep inhale. Exhale. Just give yourself a little shoulder roll there. Have a little shimmy from side to side. Awesome. And when you're ready, inhale, lift and extend back up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you all so much for joining. Everyone at home, namaste. Well done. Great job.